Hello. Like most of us, I've done a lot of PD since March, and I've given some PD too. And one thing that I've found has been really helpful and teachers have responded to is breakout dictations. And thanks to Annabelle Williamson, La Maestra Loca, who first taught me this I think in March. We had an online workshop and I learned about this. So why dictations? You'll get students speaking, listening, reading, and writing. If you do running dictations, you're very familiar with this, but this is an adaptation for remote or for in-person. If you can't have students up and running around and talking really close to each other, you could do this on the computer. So these would be the instructions that you'd give to students in the breakout room. Decide who's A, B, C, and D. Wait for the broadcast from the teacher. One student leaves, comes back to the main room. That student gets instructions and returns to the breakout room. They'd get a sentence as well. And that student will say a sentence and then everyone in the group, and these are the types of dictations, which I'll just show you here. So the first one, you could do a write and draw. And you would show students how to join the breakout room, how to leave the breakout room. That's really important. And then you'd show them, just like this slide, show a sentence. So 4 students would come back, they'd get the sentence, then they'd go back to their group, say it. The whole group has to write the sentence, and then they have to draw the sentence. So that is write and draw. Another option is just CIERTO, FALSO. So one student will come back. Mati y Ana son amigos de la niñez. So they would have to write that or memorize it, but they'd probably be writing it. And then they go back to their group, say it. The group writes it and then writes if it's true or it's false. Put in order. So you would give students a whole bunch of sentences, and at the end, they would have to put them in order. So if you use stories, that works really well. Questions and answers. This one I really like. You give students, they'd be in their breakout room projecting all of these questions, and then the students who are coming back to the main room, you'd give them an answer. They'd go back to the breakout room, say the answer, everybody writes down the answer, and then they have to match it to which question. So that one involves a little bit more thinking, and it's more input because they're getting the questions and the sentences. And predictions, this one's really fun. You'd give them some predictions, and then they'd write down the sentences and decide if they agree or disagree. Who said it, who did it, or who would say it, who would do it. And students would write down those sentences, and then they would decide who they think in the story would do it. There are lots of other ideas. So I hope that you can comment here on this post, or I'm going to be presenting Song Story of the Week remote version in August. Details will be coming soon in a few weeks. I've done this a couple times already, but I want to open it up to more people. So I will be posting details about that, but it'll be a 3-hour workshop spread out over 4 hours on Zoom. And I hope at the end, teachers will have an opportunity to host meetings. And it really will be about being comfortable for teachers moving in and out of breakout rooms so that you could have students do that, because it does take some practice. And it is good for teachers to do it first. And it'll be for Spanish teachers. The resources that I create and share are for Spanish teachers. So I'll be sharing tons of resources, and we'll be focusing on a story that's based on this song. Yo no sé. And if you want to read the story, this tiny URL will take you to a blog post about it. Okay, so details coming soon on that.